This is my 2006 Panasonic KX-TG5632, and it's a very important phone in my collection. That's because this was my first phone where the goal was to prevent the temptation to play with a certain phone that I can't play with. In this case, our old home phone, the KX-TG5432. I knew about the 5.6 series from staying at a cabin in Tahoe in late 2012. They had a 5633, so that would be this with 3 handsets and black. That could also be had in white. So there's a 5631, which just has 1 handset, a single locator button, that's it. That comes in silver. Then there's this, the 5632, which comes in metallic gray. The 5633, which comes in black or white. And the 5634, which would once again come in metallic gray. This is still from the era where they print the model number on the top of the base. So this is a 5632 base. The 5633 and 34 would have a 33 and 34 base respectively. For the 5432 and 5452, the bases were different than the 5433 and 5453 because there was 1 locator button, 2 locator buttons. But for the 5632 and 5652, they made them expandable to 3 handsets for the 5652 and 4 handsets for the 5632, which is this. So you press select to select the desired handset. Then the number shows up on the display. Then you press call to call it. Testing, testing. Goose, goose, goose. Unlike the 543 series, you hear an intercom. You hear a dedicated intercom tone on the base, and there's an intercom termination tone. The intercom busy tone is no longer that loud, obnoxious tone that the 5.4 series had, or 5.43 series had. And you have a bass ringer. To adjust the bass ring tone, use the handset, go to Initial Setting, set Bass Unit, and then Ringer Tone. Starting from 2006, for some reason it might sometimes say busy. That's a weird glitch on this phone. You only have 3 tones and no melodies. 2005 models would have melodies. You can also now change the ring color. This was first introduced on the KX-TG5583. But now, as of this model it's more widespread, you can now do it for more than just phone book entries. So on the 5.4 series, you could only do the ring color for phone book entries. So color 1 is the default, it was a dash default, and now the default is no light-up ID. This model is sort of a transitional model. It has a slightly longer than normal delay when you put it on charge, and you can see this with the base charge light. So I pick it up quickly enough, the charge light turns on and off without the handset beeping. This also does not have a key backlight, unlike the 5.4 series. So I got this instead of a 5.4 because this is better than the 5.4. And for this reason, I would not add our old 5.4 series to my collection when we replaced it in 2016 with the TGE263 that we have now, and that will be 10 years old on May 25th this year, because that phone wouldn't have any more features. It had a ringtone downloaded from Caller IQ, which is weird. I don't think we ever used that feature, but we bought it brand new, we said, and that wouldn't be a reason to have it in the collection, because if you reset it, it goes away. This has voice enhancer, which I guess is an early form of equalizer.
This is a testing message.
Fox jumps over the laser.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Tech with wireless phone test.
This seems about as loud as the new Panasonic phone, so it's weird that I'm seeing complaints about the speaker volume on the newer Panasonics. I mean, not everyone would remember how loud this old set would go, but I don't understand why there are complaints about the new ones if they're not exclusive to the new ones. This did not have the greatest speakerphone. This is my first working multi-handset phone system. This is what the charger for this series looks like. I'm not sure why they did a new charger, because it physically fits handsets that can fit in this charger. This charger does not have a charge light, and that is another area that this feels like a transitional model. The biggest area, I believe, I think, because models after this would move the charge light to the handset, and the 2006 KX-TG57 series would as well. That one had a handset phone book that shared color list, but then they would still see the handset color list until the 2008 models and later. So this does not have a charge indicator, which makes me wonder if they initially planned on having the charge light on the handset instead of the base. But then I guess they couldn't really come up with a new base design, or didn't want to, and of course it would be weird to have two charge lights. I believe there are a few phones where there are two charge lights, but it's very rare. I would guess that design is seen mostly when the base was shared of a model where the handset had a charge light and one that doesn't. And this model also does not say digital answering system on it. I mean, I guess by 2006 that was very common, but AT&T, VTech, and Uniden would still brag about that for a few more years. And I think Uniden always would up until they stopped making phones here. So you can copy the phone book between handsets. Then once you select an entry, this handset will show the entry being copied, and the destination handset will say phone book receiving, then phone book received. If you copy all entries, the handset scrolls through the entries and shows the count at the bottom. I only have one working battery for these right now, and it's like a star battery, so I can't show the second handset in operation right now. So this is one of the original handsets, made in Malaysia. The second handset developed the common display failure, unfortunately, so I replaced it in 2024 with this handset, which was made in China. It came from a lot of handsets that were made in Malaysia and China, so I ended up with one that was made in China. So this is a rare case where I have a handset made in a different country from the entirety of the rest of the set. I did not know that when I was replacing the second handset to this phone, and I wanted to avoid that mismatch, but then I would soon find out that that was the case with this phone already. So it's not have backlit buttons. Up until 2010, up until 2008, we would not get white on black keys with backlight. So this just didn't have backlit keys, which is weird. The button layout changed on this model. Redial is now below off, and flash is below star. And now you get prompted if you want to erase. So this is how it will work going forward. And so edit is now in the options menu for the phone book entries. There is no VE on in the menu because since flash and redial are physical buttons, voice enhancer is a soft key and mute is a soft key on the right. On the 5.4 series, the right soft key will be blank unless it's the 5.438 and 5.439, which has voice changer. To register handsets, press select until the desired number appears, then press and hold call. You cannot actually deregister handsets on this. So what you want to do is simply register a handset over a slot that you do not want to use, then register it back to a slot you do want to use. That's basically how it deregisters. Now let's play the message I left from this phone. And now I've officially recorded a message from all of my working phones.
It's the test message on the Panasonic KX-TG5632 on talk mode. And the 5632 on speakerphone mode.
I'm going to end this message by placing the handset into the cradle facing backward. So this shares a lot, this is basically mostly physically identical to the 5.4 series, which is why I got it, because I wanted basically the best version of that design. Although I wish I had gotten, I kind of wish I'd gotten the 565 series, but then it wouldn't have had caller IQ, and I wanted it to have all the features plus more of the 5432. So this was weird. On most models in the 5.8 era, if it has talking caller ID, it doesn't have caller IQ. Then it would completely go away after 2006. So for 6.0 and 3.0 series, it would completely go away. Other than the reason I got this phone, this is a pretty basic phone. This was more about aspects rather than features, because I already had a phone with a base finger, the KX-TG5632. That one changed it for both the base and handset at the same time because it's a single handset security code system, while on this, it's a multi-handset registration system. The charger would continue to plug in on the left for the 2007 models, and this would change to the back only in 2008 and later. So 2007 was still a transitional model, but it did introduce the wait a few seconds to call all handsets behavior on the 6071 series, and it would no longer say set time if you turn on the answering system without a time set. So on this model, if you turn on a time set,
answer set time,
it would still say set time. And this has two antennas, like the 5.4 series. I'm not sure what the point of having two antennas was. And apparently this antenna up here is just for show. It's not actually functional. But that is where they put the ringer light. And it's also a message indicator. So now let's leave a message into this phone. Speaking of message. And actually, you're able to pick this up while leaving a message, and it answers. So I guess that, I'm not sure when this changed, if this went away in 2007 or 2008. I'm probably going to get a 6.0 series at some point, so I could have one of Slow Talk.
We are not available now. Please leave your name and phone number after the beep. We will return your call.
And there's a cool feature on the 6.0 series. Since it has talking caller ID and handset phone book, models before would not have phone book match because the voice is generated by the base and transmitted to all the handsets. But even if it was in the handset, the different handsets could just have different announced names and it could confuse people. Some models did work that way, but it was pretty rare. Panasonic, I believe, only did that in Canada. So for 6.0 series, handset 1's phone book data is used as the announced name, but the display name is still based on each individual phone book. If handset 1 does not have a link to the base, the handsets just announce the name received by the phone company, by the caller ID, but they'll still display based on their phone books. For some reason, the loop current disconnect does not work well on this phone. But it is working, because if I unplug this for long enough, it does hang up. And like the 9344, this is a signal from the base. So if we unplug this now, this will not flash anymore. But it still says it's linked to the base until a few seconds have passed. Even the 6.0 series is not new enough to beep when you plug it in. So even now it works just like the 5.4 series. So the base boots up very quickly as a result. The lights flash very quickly, this, basically, and then it's ready to go.
One new message.
Then on the handset, it's basically like the 9344. Press erase to erase, press select, and it unlinks.
No.
And then you can edit and call, just like the 9344. So this phone is very basic. I really got it just for its aspects, for having one like ours at the time. Because this phone has a bass ringer, you do get the ringtone for intercom, and the transfer is not based on soft keys. I think on the 545-5653 it is, but here you can do 4 handsets, so you have a list, but on the 5652 and 53, those can only expand to 3 handsets. So for that one, it would say line on hold, transfer to, HS2, HS3, and then there were some 2.4 models where it was based HS1 or HS2. 2 handset models just say handset 1 or handset 2 here. So that's how ours was. It's really weird that this didn't have a charge indicator on the charger, but this was definitely a transitional model. I do have to wonder if they were thinking of having this have the charge light on the handsets. It could have confused people coming from the 5.4 series, which has the same design, so I guess they decided not to do it. But then they would as of the 3.0 and 6.0 series. But that would still have light up ID. The 6.0 series would change to a larger display and a white backlight, like on the 9.3 series, view CID instead of RCVD calls, and it would add an alarm option. And then it would put date and time adjustment into a set date and time menu, and get rid of caller IQ. But other than that, it's still 5.85, because it is a 5.8. It would not have the tones of the 10.32.